This is the season where you need to change your mind about yourself. You need to change your mind about what's possible. You need to change your thinking, your thoughts, and your focus. You need to identify supporting structures. You need to ask yourself the question, how do I strengthen the muscles surrounding my backbone? As I reflected on the Access conversation, I thought of resilience because of the unique times that we find ourselves in. Sheryl Sandberg and Adam Grant, in their book Option B, which I love the title, Option B, not A, Option B, have a unique definition of resilience, which I would like to quote. Resilience is the strength and speed of our response to adversity. I'm going to repeat that. Resilience is the strength and speed of our response to adversity, and we can build on it. It's not about having a backbone. It's about strengthening the muscles around our backbone. The backbone gives structure and support to the body. Structures and systems have been built around it, and it provides a framework. All the enterprises involved in this year's Unstuck conference have provided structure and support for others. Access for impact requires a solid structure and systems that we can build around. We need to build resilience, a strengthening of the muscles around the backbone, the structure, the systems, and the framework. In this season of a global pandemic, we must be resilient. We must be able to bounce back, use our strength to develop others, and develop new strengths. This is not the season to stay down or give up. This is the season for access, for extraordinary impact. This is the season where you need to change your mind about yourself. You need to change your mind about what's possible. You need to change your thinking, your thoughts, and your focus. You need to identify supporting structures. You need to ask yourself the question, how do I strengthen the muscles surrounding my backbone? So you decide, this is my backbone, but how do I strengthen these muscles in a time when resilience is required like no other time? What strategies do you need to employ? And they are different for everyone. What is right about this season? What is right about the time that we are in? What and where do you need to access to transition into your next? Many are loving working from home. Others are making use of their time to envision and plan through and think through new opportunities. People are learning new things. There is so much information and e-learning opportunities available. Some are even awakening dormant gifts. To gain access for your next, you need to reinvent, you need to dare, you need to step out boldly, you need to envision, and you need to act. Every ending launches us and gives us the opportunity to start a new beginning. I was reflecting on the word cycles. Cycles start and end, and a new cycle starts. And when I looked up that word, they said every cycle needs to be the same. Oh, that's the definition. But I think cycles change. Cycles change because of things that have taken place. As we brainstormed last year, or the team brainstormed on Access, we looked at how generations have evolved. From our grandparents, to our parents, to us, and to our children, and now grandchildren. And this was spurred by a conversation that we had with SK Blue of Gold Avenue, Africa, on generations. One generation, that was for me, my grandparents, fought for the land. Another bought and owned the land. That was my father's generation. They bought and owned the land and property. They wanted ownership. But the Access generation are not interested in ownership, just access. I recently lost my dad. He passed away, and it is so hard. But I kept thinking and reflecting that that is a cycle that has ended. And this is an opportunity now for a new cycle to begin. But it will be a different cycle because he laid a foundation on which we now as a new generation can build on. His life gave us a level of access for impact. It's now our turn. And if you don't do it for anyone else, I'm always pleading with people, do it for the next generation. Give them a leg up, so to speak. I wanted to reflect on a question. What has ended for you, and how can you start a new cycle? It could be that you've lost your job in this pandemic. It could be that you don't have as much income as you had. Something has ended. But remember, I said every cycle ends and it gives way and allows for the birthing of a new cycle. So you need to think, what has ended for you and how can you start a new cycle? Because it's time to access our next. Isaiah 43:18-19 says that the old has gone and the new has come, but you must perceive the new. You must see it, envision it, write it down, create a vision board. This is the season and opportunity to create a new way, a new normal, a new order, and a new cycle. This is the season, an opportunity to create a new way, a new normal, a new order, and a new cycle. If you're afraid, this is okay. But don't stay afraid and don't get stuck, because this is the Unstuck conference. Don't stay afraid and don't get stuck. I reflected on a few ways that we can move past fear. One, do it afraid. There are many things that I do, and I know people around me who do things even if they're afraid. Speak to a mentor. Engage a coach, because there's nothing as powerful as being coached even through your fears or through your thoughts. Ask for help. Ask for help. Draw, write, and envision your next and place it in front of you. Pray about it. Pray about this new next. Dare, be bold, set out and take actionable steps. Break it down into bite-sized pieces. And every time I say that, I think of if you want to have a meal, you have to break down the meal into bite-sized pieces and consume them. So do the same with your vision, Start moving and explore possibilities and opportunities. We have a unique opportunity to access our next, but I kept sensing only if we jump into opportunities that don't look like what we had envisioned. I think sometimes it's our visioning. We envision something and want to stay there. But the world has gone through a reset. People are thriving in this reset. People are gaining access to new ways and new ideas. And we don't want you to be left behind.